unattainable for her due to her choice of language. So, Kofi, there we have it. This is Wiala. I mean, she went on to say so much, but let's just, I think this about covers the conversation.
I mean, Wiala obviously is the type of artist. She seems very, unafraid and very unapologetic when it comes to her music. And then it obviously seems that when it comes to the way she views things also, she's very unapologetic with it. I like that someone of her stature can come out and actually ask questions of the VGMA, because a lot of people have actually felt this way about the award scheme. And I remember when Fancy Gadam, was nominated some time past, people were saying, and who is this guy? Who is this guy? But he was very big in the North. I think the same situation when it comes to Macasio, or I don't know, Mikasio. I hear they are very big in the North, but sometimes it doesn't translate to the South here. So people are of the opinion that, but who are these guys? Who are these guys? And when they nominate them, they win because they have a fan base that is able to really vote for them and really be behind them. So that should tell you that, the amount of support that they have. You look at, the whole VGMA, and for me, there are various levels of the scheme, for me, that is flawed. For example, asking artists to, submit their works. I mean, Riala says she has not submitted for some time because of some of these things,
I think this year Kobna didn't submit as well.
Yeah,
we had
but it's good that they were able to separate that emotion from, business and allowing him to actually perform. Yeah. I wouldn't have expected that. That would come from a Ghanaian, establishment, because we are very petty and very sentimental here. So that's great. But as Riala has said, I'd like to be able to know the database that they use. And I hear the board and the academy, they sit down, try and look at the numbers, they look at this and that, and come out with the the selections. I'd like to know what database they use, especially. Are they just going for YouTube streams, or are they using Spotify? What are they using? Because they're supposed to be, I don't know whether the login system in Ghana really works.
It doesn't.
It doesn't work. So
I can tell you that for a fact.
Yeah, okay. So if it doesn't work, I wonder, that's why I have a big problem when some people say, and this song is a hit song, and this song is bigger than this song, because the numbers don't actually reflect, like, yeah, it's a perception, but if you go into it, you can't really pinpoint and say that, okay, this is a fact, this song is bigger than this song. Probably you just use YouTube views, but we know bots can actually, hike the views and stuff like that. So sometimes it becomes very difficult. I would wish that, there's a better system, especially since Chatterhouse and, the Ghana Music Union, or all those involved in music, have decided that the Vodafone Ghana Music Award is the face of Ghanaian music and all of that. I think they should be able to put in a system that is able to log in the artist, for the year under review. And like Biala said, it shouldn't be just Accra based, because the truth of the matter is that, there are a lot of people who are doing amazing things outside. And it also, when the scene is encouraged in other places, it also creates an ecosystem where money flows in that system. You are creating jobs there. If the music is not just centered in Accra, you have people, event organizers, moving to the north, moving to Ashanti region and other places. You are creating jobs. You are creating an ecosystem that actually it helps everyone. So I think I don't know the facts as to whether truly the selection is just done based on accumulated radio airplays in Accra, because as you have said, there isn't really a login system. So how do you even know that it's based on that in the first place? I don't know whether that is the situation, but whatever it is, it seems that people who are based in Accra, or tunes that actually hit in Accra, are the ones that we usually see, on the award scheme. There are some songs that get really big in Accra, but they might not really translate out there. They also have their own, type of songs that are making it. I'd like to see more Wiala. I'd like to see more Mikasio. I'd like to see more the Fancy Gadams, and people from other places also, get on the scheme. People from the Volta, I've heard of some of them doing amazing. There's this guy that I hear his song was playing in China or something like that. I think it's all very amazing that, we need to shine a spotlight on everyone. It shouldn't just be Accra.
Do you suppose, it's the situation where if you want recognition, you have to move to Accra? Because I see that's what a lot of the musicians do. Because wherever you are, you will not get the kind of spotlight you're looking for. So what that means is that you have to move. It's like when you're in America and you're probably in Texas looking to be a hit, you're thinking you want to move to New York, Miami, Hollywood. The possibilities then become a lot bigger for you. Is that the situation? Is that what we're saying essentially?
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with people. I mean, we all move from place to place for economic reasons. One of the biggest push for immigration is, the economic factor. I mean, you probably grew up somewhere else, but you're probably living at a particular place because of your job, nearness to your job and all of those. So I think that is very common in every field, that, when, you are looking for a particular place of engagement when it comes to work and everything, you try to stay close to where the action is actually happening. I mean, and outside, obviously people move from other states, come to New York in order, because the music industry in the New York setting, is very vibrant. People will move and come there and try to make hits. People will move from all sorts of places, move to Los Angeles, California, in order to be able to make it in the movies. I think it's very normal. But I think where the problem comes in is where there aren't any system at other places, because the truth of the matter is that though people move from place to place, there are people who can actually make it from their hometown. There are people who become hometown heroes and stuff like that, and that for me should be encouraged. So for me, it shouldn't just be centered at one place. Obviously people will move around for economic reasons, but there should be opportunities at other places in order to provide a level playing field for everyone to make it.
The level playing field has been one of our biggest problems, but that's another conversation for another day. We're moving on to our next story. Kofi Kinata, sensational high life artist, commonly known, his name is Martin King Arthur, and he has revealed that promoting of new songs on television or radio stations is very expensive. The Things Fall Apart hitmaker cleared the air on the issue, as many people not within the entertainment industry think music played on air or shown on television is just for free. According to him, you can be an artist with a very good voice and have the best song, but if you do not have money to promote the song in the media, no one will get to listen or watch your song continuously or even get to love it. So I think that, covers, there's really more, but it covers it.
Yeah. I mean, this issue is a big one. I really wish we could really delve into it, very well, because this is actually what plagues an industry like ours.
Right.
You understand? Where there's a lot of talent, you go to the studios, you hear amazing songs, you hear amazing artists, but you just keep hearing the same type of songs on the radio. There's a diverse sounds when it comes to our music scene, but it doesn't really show because there are people who can actually afford to put their songs on, and those are the people that everyone will focus on forever. You understand? And of course, music is an expensive venture. You understand? That one, you can't take that out. I remember there was this, I wasn't watching actually, there was this trending video, Ricky Rick, RIP to him, where he was receiving an award at the Metro Awards in South Africa, and he was like F radio, but there are artists, there are kids who actually have the dopest of songs, that don't end up on radio. And he was like 90%, that thing really trended, 90% of the music that you hear on radio is garbage. That was what Ricky Rick said, and that, it's important that the youth or the kids that are coming up that don't have money to put their music on radio, they put their music on, we thank God for internet, that they can put their music on internet platforms and blow up. Look at Black Sherif's story, for example. I mean, I don't think radio would have given him a look You understand? He was even on, I think, one of these, what do you call it? One of these shows. I don't know whether it was Hitmaker or Vodafone Icons or one of those things. He didn't really go far in it. You understand? But the internet, you know, has been able to make him what he is as at now. You look at the likes of Kwesi Arthur. It looks like these days it's the internet that is really blowing people. Kwesi Arthur, it was through his videos on YouTube, on Twitter, that actually really blew him. So when you look at the story, you realize that the traditional means of, you know, blowing an artist sometimes is just segmented to the bigger artists.
Right.
You know, that's their playing field. But I think the youth or those who are now coming up should focus more of their energy on the internet, because there's a vast you know, majority of the audience, you know, also on the internet. And these days, radio is even picking from the internet. You understand? The only problem that I'm beginning to have with the internet is that it's also becoming very regulated, that things are not happening organically as you would expect. Now, it's also becoming very, very, I don't want to use the word intentional, orchestrated. You understand? Some of the trends are actually orchestrated. They are not actually that organic. You understand? So it's actually limiting the viewership. It's creating the same problem that radio created. You understand? That if you don't have money to pay TikTok influencers, your song is not going to blow. But I think the best way for any artist that is coming up to blow up their career is to focus their energy on the internet, because radio obviously is expensive. They have their favorites already.
But you still have to play your music videos on the TV stations.
Yeah.
And I mean, the radio stations still have to play your songs some way, somehow.
But the truth of the matter is that when you blow up on the internet, they would have no choice than to pick it up. That is it.
So it's not a when, it's an if you blow up on the internet.
Yeah, but
because it's also, like you rightly said, it also has become, the dynamics have changed.
Yeah.
It's not as organic as you would want it to be.
Yeah.
Somebody who has money can even buy a following. There were talks about on the night of VGMAs, you know, another station with another show whose numbers just didn't make sense to a lot of people, because they were like, nobody's even talking about this. So, but where did the numbers come from? All of these things happen. You can just buy the numbers or get the kind of attention you want from the internet if you have the money.
If you have the money,
you know?
Obviously.
So then it becomes, so now it's almost as if the people ruling on the radio, TV, traditional media have now come to the internet to equally rule.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
There will always be shapeshifters.
Yeah.
There will always be people who come out of the rubble.
True.
You understand?
True.
You can't always sensitize the voice of the masses. The masses will always win. The masses is the power.
It does take something.
Yeah.
But to be fair, because I've been on radio for a longer time, I think what I could say, or what I've heard a lot of, you know, a lot of radio presenters or people who've been on radio and TV say is that usually when an artist is coming up, you like their sound, you want to promote them, all of that. The minute they get to a certain place, even inviting them for an interview becomes a problem.
Okay.
They suddenly have a certain attitude. They have a certain, they don't want to play that game with you anymore.
Yeah, I don't see what the problem is with that.
No, the problem with that is that you would expect that we work together.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm promoting you to a certain point, I'm hoping that when I need you to also hold my hand to a certain point, you can do that.
Yeah.
So if you don't do that, then there's no point in the help. You know what I mean?
I see it as a help. I don't see it as a help. I see you are doing your work. So do
inviting
your work.
So it's like when sometimes when I call maybe the PRO of a certain institution or whatever, and they don't answer the phone, I get upset because this is your job. You're supposed to answer questions from the public.
Exactly.
It's part of what comes with your job.
Yeah, you're being paid to
You're
do
being
that.
paid to do that. As an artist, and nobody is saying that, you know, dolly by force you need to do interviews. But when things come up, sometimes we want to hear your side of things. We want to see things. We want to hear things. And they would say a blatant no to you. And so then people feel like, you know what? Fair enough. Be your person, grow your thing, but in my space, this and this and this is what it requires.
But
you know, so I think that is what, for me, has brought a lot of traditional media people to this point.
No, I don't think that is the situation.
Oh, that is what a lot of them.
The media actually makes it very difficult for artists to blow. So I think it is out of that pain that some of them act that way. The fact that you give someone a muzzle,
when you say the media makes it difficult for artists to blow, what exactly does that mean?
When it comes to the issues of payola, for example,
right.
An upcoming artist sometimes cannot compete with a bigger artist when it comes to paying payola and actually to get, you know, your songs on radio. You understand?
Right.
Though, you know, it is not a streamlined thing or something that is widely accepted. That is the norm. That is the background thing that actually goes on. So if this artist probably maybe out of, you know, some pity or, as you put it, help, you've given him a platform to be on your show, and, you know, he comes to your show, but at that point he's at a very disadvantaged position. So, you know, he's doing the humble thing, right?
So, Kofi, you know, I won't even allow you to learn. It's not just about, in fact, I don't even encourage artists, upcoming artists, to do a lot of interviews. Your song needs to go ahead of you.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of airplays. I don't take payola. I haven't taken payola on radio.
Okay.
I just love good sound. If I love your sound, I'll go with you.
That's good.
And it's not just about an interview. I would play an artist song for years on end until he started and he's like, Charlie, I've dropped a new one, so let's shift the focus to that one.
Yeah.
But you see, if I do that kind of thing, and at some point I'm like, oh, I need you to come for an interview for this and that, and he says a blatant no to me, do you understand how that makes me feel?
Of course, you're a human being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is why he has made it difficult for the next artist coming to me to get that kind of support.
Yeah, but
that is, and honestly, that is where a lot of people are coming from. I will not lie to you.
I just think that is just an excuse.
No, it's not an excuse. I've been there. I'm speaking from experience.
It's just an
I'm
excuse.
not even, this is not an insinuation. This is like me telling you.
So you are telling me that the songs that we hear on radio are those who have been grateful?
No. People take payola. A lot. People, Charlie, if somebody's paying you to play the song, you will.
Yeah.
But we're having to wrap up, so let's do that really quickly. If somebody's paying you to play the song, you will do that.
Okay.
But there are also the people who would. Andy Dossi doesn't take payola.
Okay.
Andy Dossi will play your song. I've sent a lot of artists to Andy Dossi. He won't take nothing from you. If he loves your sound, he will play it. But you see, if he takes you all the way to that point and you do that kind of thing, I don't know if you understand what it means for us when we do the thing that we do.
I would like to think that relationships are important.
Exactly.
You understand?
So we would say that conversation.
Play an artist song for dozens of years. He probably doesn't even know that you.
Oh, he does know. They always know.
Well,
they
I'm just
always
saying
know.
He could probably not even know.
Especially,
there could be a situation that he doesn't know.
Okay. All right. So we're having to wrap up here. We will come back to this conversation.
Okay.
I need you to understand from my point of view. But anyway, Kofi, thank you so much. You always make the conversation very interesting. This is Sun Up on Showbiz TV. Do stay tuned. We will be right back.
There are moments in life